You see, if I ask you what do you think is the biggest problem in DMO, some of you might say loot boxes and the fact the game is pay to win, which I agree with. It is kinda a big problem. Most of the new content, if not all of it, are either in loot boxes or cash campaigns. There is rarely anything for the free to play players. And some of you might say botting and hacking is the biggest problem in DMO, and I agree. Botters are everywhere and people are getting hacked right, left and center, and yeah, these are very big problems in the game, and even ruining the game for some people. However, there is one more problem in the game that, in my opinion, just as big, but not a lot of people talk about it. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about in this video. The one problem that really ruining the game for myself and actually a lot of people, but I don't think it gets as much recognition as the other problems. What is this problem, you might ask? Well, I will start by showing you this. So for a start, look at my critical. I have 191% critical. This is unconditional 190% critical. You can see I'm getting 151 from my clone, a little bit from my accessories, and only 1% from the seals, but overall I have 191% critical, which basically means I am always guaranteed to do a critical hit against every single mob or boss. I guess with the exception of some end game bosses, but 99% of the time I'm always critting. Now let's look at my accessories. This is my earring. I'm getting 2 critical damage option. Each one gives almost 40%, like that one already gives almost 80% critical damage. The bracelet as well gives me 45% each. That's over 90% critical damage only from the bracelet. And we have the earring, the necklace, which gives another 40% critical damage, and in addition of that we have 30% attack speed. So yeah, the necklace alone gives me a lot of attack speed. You can see my attack speed at 1.9, which is the base for Susanoo. Now I am 1.3, and now I'm gonna use the burst ultimate wing stick buff, and now I have an extra 15% attack speed. So in total I have up to 45% attack speed reduction. So now you're probably wondering what exactly is the problem. Well, I'll tell you the problem. The problem is basically this. Look at the damage I'm doing. About 60,000 per normal hit, 58,000. Now I'm gonna use a skill. Oh, what is this? It only did 29,000. Oh yeah, skills does not crit. Oh, what is that? It's a skill. 3-second animation. What does that mean? It means that skills are not affected by the cooldown reduction either. So basically skill does not crit, which means skill do less damage than your normal attack. And as we just saw, the first skill, for example, have 3-second animation, which is not affected by attack speed, so it will always take the 3 seconds to unleash the skill. So it does less damage and it takes longer to do. What about my second skill? Well, it also did less damage, and if we check the animation, this one is also 3-second animation. So basically the skill will basically do less damage and takes longer to do, which means we have a big problem here. It basically means when I'm fighting a boss with Susanoo, that's exactly what I'm doing. I am not pressing any buttons. I am not using any of my 3 skills because they will do less damage. So I am just doing normal attacks, which, yeah. So, does that mean that all skills in Digimon are unusable? Well, the answer is yes, but also no. There is another thing which is a little bit more problematic. Okay, so pay attention to my DPS and my battle window screen over there. I'm gonna use a skill, and what is this? He's using a skill, yet I am doing normal damage as well. It's the same time that I am doing the skill. Yeah, look at this. I am inflicting this guy. I'm dealing normal damage while I am casting my skill. And that, my friends, is ASB, Advanced Skill Breaking. Oh yeah, Advanced Skill Breaking, or ASB for short, which what I'm going to refer to from now on. So ASB is the abilities that some Digimons have in this game, which allows them to do normal damage while doing skills, which basically makes the whole skills do less damage thing a little bit irrelevant, because it doesn't matter if your skills do less damage than your normal attacks, because either way you are gonna be doing normal attacks regardless, which in the end makes the skill doing additional damage in additional to your normal attacks. And doesn't that solve the problem? Well, the answer is no, because it is an ability that some Digimons have. Susanomon, for example, yeah, this guy does not have ASB. None of the 3 skills ASB. He will always have to stop doing normal attacks for sake of doing skills. And as we just saw, skills do way less damage than normal attacks. Like sometimes they do more damage, but in the end, normal attacks will be much faster because of the attack speed reduction. So yeah, that is the problem. ASB is a thing that exists in the game since launch, basically since whatever 2012 or 2011, I don't remember when. I think the game started in 2009. I played it on 2012 and it exists in the game since launch, right? And that is a problem. Some Digimon have ASB and some do not. So here we have good old Omegamon Ultra S, and let's take a look at this guy's base stats. He's an SS Plus Digimon with 2,900 attack and his skills are like this. Then we can take a look at Imperiodemon Paladin mode, also an SS Plus ranked Digimon. It has the exact same attack as Ultra S, also the exact same attack speed and very similar crit rate. And looking at the skill damage, they are almost identical. So they must be the same level, right? Well, the answer is no, they are not. So Omegamon Ultra S have 2 skills, and he can ASB with both skills. He can do normal attacks while doing the skill, but Paladin mode on the other hand doesn't have that. It simply cannot use his skills. So with Paladin mode you will only be doing normal attacks. So in the end, Omegamon Ultra S is a top tier Digimon, while Imperiodemon is a very bad Digimon. It's almost as good as Alphamon or Ryukin. Actually it is weaker than Alphamon or Ryukin when it comes to damage. And this guy actually an SS Plus rank, which makes this guy higher rank than Alphamon or Ryukin. Yeah, look at normal Alphamon or Ryukin. It has way less attack, even HP and skill damage as well. However, this guy, which is an only SS rank, is stronger than Paladin mode, because Alphamon or Ryukin have ASB on F2, while Imperiodemon does not have any ASB at all, and that is the problem with ASB. You see, the thing is, ASB is not distributed equally to Digimon. Some Digimon have it on all their skills like Omegamon Ultra S, and some have it on 0 of their skills like Susanomon or Imperiodemon Paladin mode, and that basically makes a big problem. There is a big list of Digimons. This is an SS Plus rank Digimons, and only few of them are viable, like Armagimon, no ASB, trash. Bilzimon X, I think it has some ASB, but it's a loot box Digimon. Bulbotamon, no ASB, trash. Chaosdramon, quadruple the ASB as far as I know. Super OP, Chaosmon, 0 ASB, trash. That's basically how it works. Fanglongmon, look at this guy, 3,800 trash. Not only because it's data, but it only have ASB on F3, which is the weakest skill. Chaosmon, it has 2,800 attack and 2.3 attack speed, and it is basically have pretty high stats as an SS Plus Digimon. It must be good. The answer is also no, it doesn't have ASB. And this guy, by the way, takes 60 days. There is the quest to unlock it. You have to do daily quest for 60 days. You can't speed it up in any way. It's a flat 60 days, there's nothing you can do about it. So you'll basically go ahead and do a quest for 60 days to get a Digimon that is weaker than Alphamon or Ryukin, which you can unlock in like a day, or Omegamon Ultra S, which also you can unlock in like a day, because the quest is super simple and the other item is like a cash item for like $5 or something, or 49 crown. So yeah, that is the current state of DMO. We have a big list of Digimon. This is the SS rank Digimon, and this is the SS Plus Digimons, and only a couple of them are viable because of the stupid ASB. Now, the other thing with ASB is it's never been mentioned in the game. Like, ASB never at one point was mentioned in any patch notes. It's not, a lot of people doesn't consider it to be a feature, but the thing is, it almost is a feature. I personally like to call it under the table feature. It was never mentioned in any patch note, but it does exist in the game since forever, and they kinda use it to balance Digimons out. Sometimes they do that, right? Let me explain how bad ASB is. So we have Alforce Vidramon X. And yeah, UVX at one point was the best, or not the best, but one of the best vaccine Digimon in the game. It used to have triple ASB. You could ASB in all three skills, which basically means all three skills were usable. At one point, this guy was doing more damage than AOX. Now that I think before AOX got his third skill, but regardless, UVX was really strong Digimon. Well, not anymore. It got nerfed. Right now it only ASB on the second skill. Shoutmon Cross 5, this is my little guy. This guy have a pretty decent set for an SS rank, and it is kinda pricey, right? You need to have 5 Digimons, you need to have all the mercenary slots unlocked, and you need to have a ridiculous amount of good crown to unlock this guy. Because you need to unlock all the previous evolution in addition of needing cross ship to Digivolve. So it is a pricey Digimon, and on release, he used to have ASB on both skills, which made it kinda decent-ish. Now it has 0, which makes this guy an overpriced trash. It is expensive and very weak. But perhaps the biggest example here and the worst thing of all would be Igudamon. So when this guy released on July 16th, 2020, this guy had ASB on all 3 skills for a month. When this guy released, you needed like 7 items. 7 cash items, and they were limited cash items. They weren't always in the cash shop. They are only limited to certain events, and it was in a promotion for like a month, right? And during the month, it had ASB on all 3 skills. However, 1 month when the promotion ended, this guy lost ASB. I think it only ASB on 1 skill, which basically a huge nerf. Now, before his ASB got removed, he was basically a stronger version of like AOX. It wasn't like related to AOX, but it was almost as good. In fact, it was almost as good as AOX, if not better, when it had ASB on all 3 skills, right? It was very strong, and people bought it as an upgrade for their Ultra S or AOX, right? Or at least Ultra S. I'm not sure about AOX, but I believe it was much stronger than Omegamon Ultra S at release, and people who bought it as an upgrade for their Ultra S, right? 1 month later, it got nerfed, and right now it almost deals the same damage as Ultra S, except it's it's less convenient to use because it eats your stamina like crazy, because it's a variant Digimon. So this was basically a mini scam, right? They release a Digimon, it's super strong because it has a lot of ASB in their skills, and then later it gets removed. And by the way, when ASB got removed, it was never mentioned in any patch note. It just, like that, vanished. The other thing is Susanomon Shin. So Susanomon Shin used to have, actually it still does have. So this guy have ASB on all 4 skills, which makes this guy really strong. Now, when it was added, it had ASB on all 4 skills. However, later it got removed. But then it got added later, and now it has its ASB added again. It can ASB on all 4 skills, which still makes this guy really strong. But for how long? Like I already mentioned, when ASB gets removed, like Shoutmon Cross 5 loses ASB, Alforce Vidramon X, Igudamon, right? There's a lot of Digimon that lose ASB. Yeah, the thing is, it's not consistent. Some Digimon have it, like this guy have it in all 4 skills, this guy have it in none of the skills. So this guy have perfectly usable skills, while this guy can't use any of the skills. This guy have only 1 usable skill. This is trash. This is unused. AOX have, actually AOX is the strongest free-to-play Digimon because it has 2 usable skill. This ASB, this does not, but these 2 skills makes it enough to make it viable, right? So yeah, that is the problem. Stats and attack speed and everything, it means nothing because ASB is a problem. Skills does not do crit damage, which means does not do crit, which means they are not viable without ASB. So what is the solution? Now there's actually 3 solutions in mind that I have. The first solution is to basically add ASB to all the skills, like make it equal, I guess. Now when that happens, everything will be broken. Like it will completely change the meta, but I guess to me it's for the best, right? Some Digimons will be viable that were not viable, like Fanglongmon for example. It might be like really strong because it has like short skill cooldown and whatnot, right? Now the second solution to basically remove ASB and add the damage reduction. So in the Korean version of the game, we have what's known as damage reduction, 60% normal attack damage reduction in dungeons. So in the dungeons, if you were to do normally 100,000 per hit, as an example, inside of dungeons you will only do 40% of that damage. So if you would do 100,000, you will only do 40% damage with your normal skills. That is only related to normal skills, not skills. Of course, the skills aren't changed. So if I was like doing 60,000 per hit right now, in KDMO I would do like 24,000. Now that only affects skills. That only affects normal attacks. So skills automatically gets buffed because skills will do way more damage. That's what we have in KDMO, and that, while it's not the best solution in the game, it's not like a very solid solution, but it's better than what we have right now. The other solution would be to simply make... Now, I just want to mention something about the first solution, is that every single raid will become much harder because you are doing way less damage than you would do. In KDMO, raids have less HP. So for example, here in Royal Base, Digimon, which is the final boss in Royal Base, here in GDMO, it have here in GDMO 22 million HP. In KDMO it have like 12 million, right? From 22 to 12 million, right? So they have to nerf the raid's HP to be in match with KDMO for this solution to work. The third solution, which is the best one, would be to remove ASB and make skills do critical damage, which basically will mean skills will scale with the gazillion critical damage option we have in our accessories. Now, of course, when that happens, all raids will be much easier. So they also have to buff some of the raids to make things more balanced. Both ways will require a little bit of work, but it's better than the current system we have. The current system we have is Digimon's stats means nothing. This guy is a triple S rank Digimon. It's very weak. This guy is trash, absolute garbage, because it doesn't ASB. It has 3 unusable skills. You never use any of the skills that you have in Susanamon. Like, the thing is, Susanamon could be good. Like, look at this. Requires skill point 1, requires skill point 1, requires skill point 1, which means you can increase all 3 skills to 25. You can max out every single skill, which only a few Digimons that have this ability. So Susanamon has the potential to be really good, but it does not. This guy requires either leveling 10 Digimons to level 99, or basically buying it from other player, which is not going to cost you than less than 200-300 Tera. This guy is super expensive, and it is very weak because it doesn't ASB. Now, yes, its stats is also kind of trash, but ASB is another problem. If it has at least ASB on 1 or 2 skills, it would be good. But yeah, that is my ASB rant. Basically, Digimons are not balanced because they do not have ASB. Now, the other problem which is related to that is, as a free-to-play players, we only have one option. There is one singular Digimon that is good enough that you can get, and that Digimon is Alphamon or Ryukin X. Not this guy. Actually, it is this guy. It's Alphamon or Ryukin X. It just looks the same at Alphamon, right? We have 3 of the same Digimon, kinda, but AOX, right? Alphamon or Ryukin X is the standard free-to-play Digimon. However, this is a problem. We only have one option. Like, let's look at the triple S-less Digimon. So starting with AOX, the strongest option, and this is very easy to get. Then we have Gismon. It's a loot box Digimon. It's super expensive and it is very weak. Craniamon, loot box, and it is weaker than AOX. Ugurumon, not loot box, but it requires 7 Digimons to level 100 or something like that. So it is super expensive and weaker than AOX. Susanamon, more expensive than AOX and weaker. Fanglongmon Shin, it's a free-to-play Digimon, I guess, and it's kinda hard to get. You need to do like hard mode Royal Base and hard mode Sovereign dungeons and Fanglongmon dungeon, but it is almost as good as AOX, so it is harder to get, but the same power as AOX, which means it's not really worth it. Or Digimon, cash campaign, weaker than AOX. Lismon X, I have no idea, but it's still a loot box Digimon, which makes her way more expensive than AOX. So out of the triple S plus, out of the triple S Digimon, the only ones that we can get as a free to play are AOX, then Ugudamon, which is weaker than AOX, Susanamon, weaker than AOX, Fanglongmon Shin, way more time consuming, and it is not worth it because it's only as good as AOX, so it's not an upgrade, and AOX is much easier. So yeah, we either have whale options or AOX, and even the whale options in the triple S are not as good as AOX. Then we have the triple S plus, loot box, loot box, loot box, loot box. Well, this is not loot box, but it is very expensive. It requires a lot of Colosseum voucher to the point where you can't get it because you won't have time. It will be removed in the 18th season. So this guy's kinda like, we're just gonna ignore Solomon Shin for now. It is a limited Digimon that only a few people who will be able to get. Then we have Z1 loot box, Examon X loot box. Well, yes, all of them are better than AOX, but none of them is obtainable as a free to play. This is a second problem. The game is pay to win. Now I know I didn't want to talk about the whole pay to win gimmick here in this video. I wanted to focus on the ASP problem, but it is boring that we only have one option as a free to play. We only have AOX, and in terms of virus Digimons, we only have Digimon Ultra S, and that's it. There's Moonman Leomon, which is slightly weaker, but that's it. Like, let's go to the SS Plus Digimons. Weaker than Ultra S, way more expensive than Ultra S, weaker than Ultra S, loot box, weaker, weak, strong but loot box, almost the same as Ultra S, slightly weaker than Ultra S, Rafflissimon, cash campaign thingy, pay to win, loot box, and trash tier. Valkyrimon is trash. So that is the current state of DMO. Now let's look at what Digimons that are considered free to play that you can get as a free to play. We have Armagimon, we have Chaosmon, and then we have, I guess, these guys, but they are overpriced and weak, but they are still obtainable as a free to play. Fanglongmon, trash. Paladin mode, trash. So yeah, now the summary. Basically, as a free to play, you only have 3 good Digimons because of the ASB/attack bug. And the other options are either loot box or weak. That is basically the current state of DMO. We have a lot of Digimons. This is a triple S Digimons. This is a triple S. Then we have like SSS, the SS, and then the SS Plus. We have a lot of Digimons, but only like 2 of them are good as a free to play. AOX and Ultra S. This is the only 2 Digimons you need in the game. And everything else is unviable because of the attack bug and the loot boxes. So yeah, that is the biggest problem in DMO in my opinion. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a game with a lot of Digimons and only 2 of them are viable. Basically one of them, because the thing is, it's AOX everywhere. Only in QDG use Ultra S, but AOX everywhere. There's 1 Digimon. This is a big problem. We have only 1 good Digimon for free-to-play players. Now Whales have options. Look at this. These are all good options for Whales. Now, for Whales I mean filthy gamblers, because they are all in loot boxes except this guy, but we don't talk about it. So yeah, it's basically like this. This is like the whale option. Then we have here AOX is the strongest one out of all these things. I don't know about Lismon X, to be honest. I know nothing about Lismon X, but I will say I don't think she's as good as AOX. I'm just gonna say it like that. So yeah, that is the current state of DMO, and I really hope something happens. Listen, I'm not saying they will remove loot boxes, okay? It's not gonna happen because they make a lot of money from loot boxes, but at least we get the whole ASB thing fixed, because it makes no sense. Like, as I said, stats and numbers means nothing. Like, look at this. This guy should be good. Like as an SS ranks, this guy have decent stats. Like, this is almost the same HB as some SS plus, but it doesn't have ASB. It have 2 useless skills. This is not okay, right? Like, it's not okay. So yeah, that is what I'm hoping to change. They remove ASB and do something about the whole skill scaling, because skills in DMO are trash. And the other thing I'm hoping to see, Digimons that are on par with AOX that are also accessible, because they dug themselves in a hole when they made AOX so easy to get. Because let's look at Fanglong Machine. This guy was added, but it's not worth it because AOX is just super easy to get. So the option is give us Digimons that are as easy to get as AOX, that are also on the same level, because it's not worth it if you can get AOX that easily, right? AOX just makes every single Digimon relevant. And I'm not saying nerf AOX. If you nerf AOX, I'm quitting the game, because it's the only good options that we have. Like, if you nerf AOX, there's no good options here other than AOX. Nothing is worth it. So give us something as good as AOX and fix the SB. That is my venting video, I guess. A little bit of a criticism for DMO. I know it might be a bit long, but yeah, now I'll be completely 100% honest with you. I don't think anything will happen. I don't think we'll ever fix this problem, because Move Games, which is the company that runs DMO, are very incompetent. We already know that since 2013. I only play DMO because it is They're currently the only Digimon game out there. I guess there's like VRIs and whatnot, but I really don't care about mobile games, especially gacha games. And Digimon DMO is not even a gacha game. It's like a gacha game, at least you get free pulls, right? DMO you don't get free loot boxes. Like all Digimons that are in loot boxes are only obtainable from the cash shop, and the chance is really bad. There is no pity system, so free to play can never get said gacha Digimons in DMO, assuming you count loot boxes as gacha. So yeah, it is. Yeah, that's it. This is my venting video. So yeah, doesn't mean I will stop making videos about DMO. I will continue doing that. I'm just gonna put my clown mask and keep making DMO content. And yeah, with that, thank you very much for watching. If you agree with what I said, leave a like on the video and subscribe for more DMO content. And I will see you all in the next video.